Okay, welcome to the start of a new anime review series. Yes, I am finally reviewing ReZero. Though the full name of the series is Starting at ReZero, Starting Life a New World. Yeah, in another world. Yeah, this is episode 1. Now you're probably thinking, wait, episode 1? Wasn't this like a one season series they aired a few years ago? Kind of yes, but they have confirmed there is season 2 coming. And here's kind of the interesting about season 2. It was supposed to come out last month, but was postponed due to the virus. Yeah, it's postponed to July. Now, this first season adapted the first 9 volumes of the light novel series. Before I watched this series, I only read the first 3 because right now I'm only planning to watch the first 11 episodes because the third book is the first I've gone to so far in the series. Yep. This is just a review of the first 3 episodes of the series, which is that book 1 of the series. And these following characters are introduced in these 3 episodes. You have Subaru, the star of the series. You have Sella, though that's not actually her name. Though she mentions his name in the first episode, by episode 3, she gets a real name. Puck, Felt, Rom, and Elsa. There's like one other character who's a fruit stand seller, and I think that's it. Yeah, just these 7 characters. The fruit stand seller guy, I don't think he reappears after this. He's voiced by Patrick Stewart, as a fantastic job voicing him. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's also first appearance of the character Reinhold. Yeah, but he doesn't make his first appearance episode 3 of the series. Yeah. The first episode is this. And by the way, both the manga and the light novel start off like this. Subaru in Japan, who had just been buying stuff from a convenience store. By the way, he wears a tracksuit, and he wears this for a lot of the time he shows up in the series. I read the manga first. I got to for the Chapter 3 series, which I think it's book 4 or 5. Not sure exactly how far it goes, because for some reason I have no idea why this is. The website I was reading it from only has the first 29 chapters of this series. And no, I have no idea why. The first manga series adapted the first book. I think the second one adapted to the second book. And this one basically, from chapter 3, goes probably adapts almost the entire book 3. Probably goes like 4, 5, maybe 6. That's just a possibility. Okay, now what happens in episode Subaru is summoned to another world. Now inside his bag is basically instant noodles and basically kind of like a bag of potato chips. He also has a cell phone with him, which is fully charged. Yeah. He just basically walks about. Of course, he tries to use his money. Of course, money won't work because it's foreign. And he leaves the fruit stand seller. Then he meets up with basically Sella. Well, he runs to a back alley. He gets accosted by 3 basically muggers, and he's stayed by Sella, the witch. Well, here's kind of the thing how they probably do in the dub. Yeah, in the dub. Now, here's kind of the thing about 2 voices the characters. Now, the Sella guy basically by the awesome because I said yep. And she shows up later on. She shows up toward the end of episode 1. You don't fully see her per se, but she does physically appear in that episode. And boy, oh boy, like a real life, just like the real life Christina B, the characters she voices are smoking hot. Oh my gosh, yes. Yep, and here she voices a smoking hot assassin. Yeah, but here's the thing: her nickname is not revealed in episode 3. Her she knows the Bow. I think it's like the Bow Killer. I think she is, or she basically is known for slitting people's bellies. Yeah, how she got that is not explained here. So after being saved by Sella, which they changed the name basically in the book and in the light novel and the manga series, that refers to the Witch of Jealousy. In the anime, well, in the English dub anyways, they refer to it as Witch of Envy. Yeah. And she basically, they work kind of know each other, and Puck basically apparently is on a schedule of a Salaman, basically a 9 to 5 schedule. So Walt's looking for, and Scylla is looking for her missing insignia. Yeah, that's what she's searching for these first few episodes, looking at this one object. That's the whole point of these episodes, trying to get this object back that's stolen by Felt, who is a 15-year-old girl who's... I have to say this properly, otherwise people are thinking, really? Okay, apparently she's a woman with a very small breast. I am not kidding about that, about this woman. She is also short, and she's a thief. There's something interesting about her revealed in episode 3. Oh, here's the thing about the first episode of the series. The first episode is 50 minutes. I'm like, damn, that's really long for a pilot episode. Now, I've seen this with... Sometimes he was shows basically that are used like a half hour long, where the pilot episode is actually longer than the regular episodes of the series. It's kind of that same thing for shows that are usually 1 hour long, where you usually get like a 2-hour pilot. Yeah. For an anime, this is the first one I've seen to do this. Because the longest prior to this one, that was not the Hellsing series, but those were long as well. Usually the longest I've seen, usually the length I've seen of these episodes tend to be about 20 to about 25 minutes. That's how long each of these episodes tend to be. This one is 15 minutes long. Like, oh wow. Who knew that the pilot episode would be the longest episode I'd see for the series? But looking up at episode 2, it's back to the standard length of 23.5 minutes. Yeah. Now, as for why it's an hour long, I think it's possible because it's the director's cut, or the fact that they added a whole bunch of stuff for the first episode. The first episode is only adapted from the first, well, probably the first 2.5 chapters of the first book, and then basically by the end of episode 3, we fully adapt pretty much book 1. Which, by the way, the episodes themselves, from what I can tell, they pretty much stay faithful to the original source material. They add some stuff, yes. But mostly, it's pretty faithful to the source material, which I at least got praised for that. So now they basically were looking for these things, and they find a little girl who's lost. They run into her mother, and then they basically run to the sailor guy again. And it turns out he's actually the father of this adorable little girl, and looking for a woman named Felt. That's where he gets the name Felt from. And they go to this loot house. They possibly get it, and then he and Stella basically are killed. Yep, they're killed. And Subaru is like, oh crap, I cannot let that happen again. Yeah, it's about the third time that after he basically... Yeah, the start is basically a thing in this series, which was referenced in It's a Quartet. He has this thing where he dies and he resets from the save point. And apparently the save point is... I kid you not. The save point is the fruit stand, the guy who sells the apples. Yeah, that apparently is the save point for him, which I thought that was interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he runs her by the end of the episode, and he dresses her by the name that she gave him, and she's like, "Why would you call me that for?" And apparently, it's later revealed that she has a striking resemblance to the Witch of Envy, even though she's not really her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Puck, yeah. He apparently has shield ability, so... Yeah, and then, of course, he decides to go and, well, use basically his... go to his loot house. And now here's the thing, the guy who he meets there, in the first episode, he's found dead, sliced to pieces. Here he's perfectly alive and well. And he tries to offer up his cell phone, and apparently it's worth... Believe it or not, they mention here about 20 holy coins. That apparently is a currency here, okay? Excuse me. Oh, and what type of phone does he have? Is it a smartphone? No, it's a Mazda flip phone. I am not kidding about that. Yeah, and this series came out in 2017. That's when the anime came out. Let's see. First novel for the series came out in comes. Let's see. Well, that's coming up basically. Yeah. So Scott's with Felt, and she does kind of agree. Of course, it meets up with her employer, who is Elsa. Yep. And she apparently has. So basically, she says, "Oh yeah, okay." The first book was released in Japan in 2014. It was released here in 2016, July. Yeah, so we lived for 2 years after the release in Japan to release here. Like in case of Japan, they pretty much were releasing these books like the first books are really March to March. Books 4 through 6 are basically released in October. I think after the apparently released like every few months. And then the most was released actually, believe it or not, in March. The most recent book release is me. Yeah, that's the kind of thing here. They also have a spin-off series, which all the books are released here. The last one. Yeah. So. Oh yeah, and also Subaru faints, and then of course he decides to, and then second time he runs to Felt. Well, actually, third time runs to Felt. He kind of sees the first time when she basically jumps across, basically like right over top of him. Yeah. So, second time meets the muggers, he beats the crap out of them. Third time, they actually stab him. Yeah. Fourth time, that's when he calls for guards. That's when Reinhold shows up. Yeah, that was something different. Yep. And in the case of the second time, when he dresses her, she doesn't like it, so she walks off. I think he counters her like one air time after that before he counters her in the final episode of this arc. Yep. So he's like, okay, you have to go find Felt after I think got killed for the third time. So he meets up with Felt, and he basically tells her he has to buy these things back. So for purpose to get back to the original owner, and he meets up with Rom. Of course, he basically verifies what he said in the first time he met him. And oh yeah, and this of course before he meets with Felt, that's when he meets up with Reinhold. Yep. Reinhold, who apparently has his sword, very interesting looking purpose of the sword. And since it's not that time, it can't be pulled yet. So he meets the other guys no problem at all. And Subaru apparently is on good friendly terms with them. As recommended, basically, if you see a silver hair woman with elf ears, tell her basically to Blue House. Apparently, she did not get the message in time, so she arrived and try to get the thing back. That's when Elsa comes in and starts the attack on them. Subaru does a very good job because basically he detects basically they're coming and he says, "Puck, shield." Yep, and apparently Puck heard him. Now Puck's probably like, "Hey," he probably didn't say, "Hey, how did you know my name?" Despite the fact they probably had never met before. Yeah. So they have an interesting battle about the last half of episode 3. And yeah, Rom fights her. Of course, he gets hurt. And then, of course, Subaru basically knows. Well, he knows that Felt is actually the youngest over here. He just wants her to die, so basically gets her out quickly. And so basically, Subaru and Sella basically do the best they can fighting her. And that's when Reinhold shows up, and he takes her on. And Scylla basically does her healing art, which apparently defends Reinhold from using his special ability that he uses. That's not his sword. And once she's finished, she's like, and of course he'll Subaru basically tell Reinhold to give a signal to use it. It's like, hey Reinhold, do your thing. Do your thing that you do. Yeah, he probably knows. He probably can tell what he's talking about, despite the fact that he probably didn't really much. He probably didn't know he knew that about his special ability, and he's able to beat Elsa, but not kill her. And I think everything is one that she's like, oh yeah, I can get back. I'm trying to kill her, and of course, Subaru blocks it, though he's able to survive it, despite the fact he gets a little slice in the gut. And then Felt basically gets back the insignia, and she basically gets back to him. Of course, Reinhold grabs her hand, and he knows something interesting happened with the insignia while it's in Felt's hand. It's like, okay, you can take the insignia back, but I'm taking her because I have some questions for her relating to her family, and she has no idea what her family is because she has no memory of her family. She doesn't know her birthday. Okay? And she recommends, like, first you take it his house. Like, no, I'll take it to my house. And she says, before he leaves, take good care of him. And she takes it with him, and that's the episodes. I gotta say, adaptation-wise, the episodes do a really good job, basically adapting the first book of the series. Yeah, I gotta have, that's actually pretty good for the series. And what's the name of the studio who makes the series? What? Sure. What's the name of that? Let's see. It's not White Snow. I was going for. Oh, in case you're wondering how long the first season is, it's 25 episodes. But for now, I'm only there's 11 because it was the first. Yeah. Okay. Studio is not like a main page basically. Okay. By Fox. Yeah, that's the studio who made the series, which I'm like, okay, that's interesting. The series is really well done. Yeah, which makes like the third series I could think of that they made. I by by is is basically while I'm basically putting this video up, basically I'll probably tell I'll basically mention next review of what shows I watched besides this one that's made by White Fox. I think there's like a few I've watched now. Yeah. So otherwise, that's really it for this particular review. So stay tuned. I'm probably got time to do episode 2 tonight. Yeah, which will cover the next 4 episode series, episodes 4 through 7. Yep. See you next video. Bye.